Here's a little thing that a lot of people don't know, and my husband tells people in interviews all the time. I actually was cast in that movie before he was.
Really?
There's this misconception that drives me crazy. It really drives me crazy that, because people just don't know. They see my husband, he's a celebrity. He's very well known. I'm an actress, people know me, but of course I'm not a celebrity. So every time I do a movie with my husband or I'm in something with him, people go, oh, he gave his wife that part. Oh, he hooked his wife up. It's like, no, I've been acting for freaking over 20 years. I have a very good resume of work. My husband didn't hook me up with anything.
Been seeing you around for like a really long time, and you went to Howard, right?
I did go to Howard, yeah.
So you've always wanted to be in entertainment.
You know what's really funny? I didn't. In high school, I actually got a scholarship from the Los Angeles Police Department to study administration of justice. I wanted to be FBI.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to be FBI agent. So that was what my goal was leaving high school. I always was in theater, you know, I was in all the drama classes, but that was more like a hobby that I enjoyed doing. But in terms of profession, I wanted to be an FBI agent or a marine biologist. It was one or the other. I'm kind of a nerd. Everybody, like people that know me, they know I'm a nerd. I was like a straight A student. I loved school. I love reading. I'm definitely a nerd, but I love acting. So that was like a hobby. But then when I got to college, I minored in theater. So that gave me more of the bug. So yeah, when I got back to LA, I was like, nope, I'm going into acting.
I got you. And when was that that moment? Or let me ask this way, when was there your first big gig?
My first big gig was actually How to Be a Player.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I got my SAG card, because they actually cast me and I wasn't even in SAG yet. And they ended up paying for my SAG card so I could do the movie. So I was the Jamaican girl, Shantae, Bill Bellamy's girlfriend, the Jamaican girlfriend in How to Be a Player. That was my first big thing with that, because How to Be a Player was like a classic movie. They still show it. I saw it on TV the other night, you know, on HBO. So
of course.
Yeah.
And whose idea was that? The Jamaican accent, because you were good at it. And
the character was Jamaican. I just was like, oh shoot, I gotta be Jamaican. Okay, well, I've never done a Jamaican accent before, but I kind of studied, you know, a few things and just went into it with the accent. And everybody was like, oh, we thought you were really Jamaican. I was like, okay, well, that's good. At least I did my job.
Right. You did your job.
Yeah.
And so this was after, forgive me, I remember seeing you in a music video. I think it was LL Cool J.
Yeah. Hey Lover with Boys.
Hey Lover. There you go.
Yeah. Well, that was like my first, I guess, break into people seeing my face. And not so much acting, but I was very selective because I knew I wanted to get into acting. So I didn't want to just be a video girl. I didn't want to be a bunch of chicks shaking their butt. You know what I mean? I was like, that's not my thing. So I was like, if I'm going to do a video, I'm going to make sure it's just, I'm the lead girl. There's no other girls and it has a storyline to it. So when I did that video, I was like, oh, okay, he has a crush on me and he's like fantasizing. All this is in his head. I was like, that's dope. So Hype Williams called me up and Hype was like, yo, I want you to do this video with LL. He was like, the reason I want you to do this video with him is because he said, I trust you. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, I know you're not out there like that. He's like, I know you're not going to try to get with LL. I know you're not going to try to sleep with him or anything like that. He said, I know you have a lot of morals and you're all about your business. He said, so I want to cast you. So he just gave me the part. And then right after that, I did Dr. Dre Been There, Done That, where I played Dr. Dre's wife and we did the big ghetto tango scene. And
oh, wow. Yeah, that was you.
Yeah, it was me. And then at the end, I got to do some acting. Me, Dre, and the comedian Pierre, we did a whole improvised scene where he wakes up from this dream and we're like in this house living all janky and I got a baby on my hip and he's eating out the cereal bowl. I'm like, get up, wake up. You know,
I remember that now.
So yeah, I was very selective, always very strategic about how I wanted to get my career started and being seen in a certain light and not just some cute chick trying to make her way. You know, I was very strategic about it.
Obviously, you have some martial arts skills now. And but before I would assume your teacher is your husband.
Yes, he is my teacher.
And but before you met him, had you had any experience?
I had none at all. I was
Wow.
an athlete. I was a serious athlete. I actually got college scholarships to play basketball. Um, a lot of college scholarships for Loyola Marymount, Pepperdine, NYU, but I turned them all down because I wanted to go to a HBCU, which my mom was not happy about. She was like, you turned down full basketball scholarship.
Oh wow.
Like I played every sport. I did volleyball. I did everything from volleyball, softball, basketball, track. I did ice skating. I did gymnastics. I did everything. So I already had the athletic skill. So when, but I never thought about getting into martial arts. But when my husband and I got together, you know, with that athletic thing in me, I'm always up for learning new things. So he started teaching me and he was like, man, you took to this super fast. But he was like, it's because you already have that athletic thing going on. So yeah, I learned very quickly with him as my teacher.
Sweet. And said basketball scholarship. So I got a guess. I say you're about 5'11".
God, no. I'm 5'7.5".
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So still taller.
I played off guard, small forward.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a tad taller than the average female being.
Tad taller. Yeah. What's the average female's height?
I believe it's 5'4" in the United States.
Yeah. So yeah, I got 3 inches over it.
Sweet. And let's lead into, you're quite popular in to stand up in the stand-up circles, the stand-up comedians.
I am?
Yeah, because you did something a lot of people want to do.
What's that?
You kicked Gary Owen in the head.
Oh.
No, that's corny. I had to get that one out.
No, yeah, but that was really fun. Working with Gary we had so much fun on that film. And here's a little thing that a lot of people don't know. And my husband tells people in interviews all the time. I actually was cast in that movie before he was.
Really?
There's this misconception that drives me crazy. It really drives me crazy because people just don't know. They see my husband. He's a celebrity. He's very well known. I'm an actress. People know me, but of course I'm not a celebrity. So every time I do a movie with my husband or I'm in something with him, people go, oh, he gave his wife that part. Oh, he hooked his wife up. It's like, no, I've been acting for freaking over 20 years. I have a very good resume of work. My husband isn't hooking me up with anything. You know, when in Welcome to Sudden Death, I was cast before him. The director and I went to Howard together. We've been friends for over 20 years, Dallas Jackson.
Oh yeah. And that's funny. We actually spoke with Dallas and he told us that little information, which is like you said, it's a huge misconception. Oh,
misconception. They actually, it's really funny. They wanted me, he was interested in me to play the wife in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I said, once again, I'm being strategic. I was like, I'm trying to make my path into the action film world. I don't want to play the wife. I want to show people what I can do. And I said, I know the terrorist dies. I know she's not in the whole movie, but I don't care. I don't care if I'm in one scene. If I get to show the world what I can do action-wise, I've done my job. I don't care if I die.
That you did.
Everybody was like, oh, your part sucked because you died so soon. No, I did exactly what I wanted to do, which is show the world what I can do action and stunt-wise. I did my own stunts. I did my own kicks. I did everything. I kicked Gary Owen in the head. That went viral. You know what I mean? So
indeed it did.
I like I said, I'm always very strategic in everything I do. So, but yeah, and even with Never Back Down, the other film I did with my husband, Never Back Down, 3 No Surrender. Once again, they want to cast a Latina actress for that part.
Oh.
And I went out for it to the producers and the directors, not my husband. I had to audition for that. I had to audition against a bunch of women, you know, so it's never anything that's a hookup. I work hard for what I do.
Yeah.
You know
Dallas told us you basically had to, they weren't familiar with you. And he told you that you had to audition for that, or he had to convince them.
Right. Yep.
And that's and you're very important to the marketing. I think that's you. Well, it is you. You're on the poster with that jump kick.
Right. They used me for it. My husband was like, man, he said, what film has ever had the hero, which was him, getting the mess kicked out of him by one of the
Right.
He's like, I'm getting the mess kicked out of me on the freaking poster.
Right. That's
like,
true.
He's like, what kind of mess is that? We laughed.
That's awesome. And you're probably the only, probably ever, but husband and wife, who's ever had a fight scene together in any movie.
We actually looked into it because people go, oh, well, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, and but they were married. They met on that set. So technically, no, we are the first husband and wife doing a fight scene against each other in a film.
So as we know, 2020 has been a heck of a year, but something has happened that, as you know, as a Black woman, we've seen a lot exposed about racism.
Yes.
It's had a huge spotlight shined on it. And this is good, and a lot of people could see, the struggle we've been going through.
Absolutely.
And like I asked Dallas Jackson, I want to ask you, and he had an answer. I wanted to see if you agree with it. He said, I asked him about racism within the industry. And he said, it's not necessarily blatant because the racism in the industry itself is cooked into the industry. And I wanted to ask you what you think about that. And also, do you see any positives happening with, that this has been exposed, and you have Ava DuVernay doing her thing, trying to expose this.
Right.
And now, what do you think about, do you see any positive changes in the industry happening and being in it?
I think it's slowly happening. I think it's a good thing, but it's a long time coming. For years and years and years, this industry, and, technically it still is, it is an industry that is ran by white men, so as Black actors, we have to fight for roles. Roles are not written for us. And if they are, they're a little, they're not as powerful. You know what I mean? They're going to be like the friend of the lead, or, the comedic relief.
The token.
It's the token Black guy in the movie with all the white men who are the leads, or and same with white actresses. It's like this totem pole, and as a woman, especially being a woman, of women in general in this industry have to fight for roles. Black women and women of color have to fight even harder. Roles are not written for us. In the film Take Back, that role was not written for a Black woman. When I first read that script, the first scene was like, she jumps up and shakes her blonde hair.
Wow. Very specific.
Very specific, but they gave it to a Black woman as a lead role. And it's a strong character. She's a lawyer, she's a mother, she's a wife who's gone through a traumatic past of sex trafficking, who escaped and has to fight back and save her daughter. And it's a role that was not written for a Black woman. It's a powerful role. That's why I'm so excited for this movie to be showcased, because it speaks so much more than just another action film.
Yes.
A lot more to it. You know what I mean? In regards to, promoting and shedding light on sex trafficking, which is a major issue in the world, in terms of letting a powerful woman lead this cast, excuse me, a powerful Black woman lead this cast. So it's a long time coming. Like you said, like Dallas said, racism isn't blatant, but it's there. It's always kind of just low, like you said, simmering low. It's been a lot of, my husband has had industry people tell him a role that he's perfect for.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be perfect for this role if you were a white guy.
White, yeah.
So it's like, wow, really? So,
it's amazing.
It's still there. It's tough. They're always going to go for that hero as the white male, or the hero female as the white female. So we got to fight harder, but I think it's coming. There's more actresses, there's more directors, there's more writers, there's more producers of color being put in higher positions, making more moves, making more decisions. So I think we're going in a good direction right now.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And this, you spoke of, you said people were telling your husband, oh, if you were white, and I believe your husband spoke about, he was doing a movie and they said, can you find a white version of you?
Absolutely.
And I believe that's how Scott Atkins got put on.
Right. No, it's you know, sadly stuff like that happens. You know, it's just they look for the hero white male. Even though let's say my husband or, you know, or someone else who has the skills, acting, action wise, stunts, they have the skills, but it's like, no, we need the hero white male to lead the film, not, you know, so,
and
you know, it is what it is. But I think, like I said, we're making really powerful moves to make a path for us that's wider and more accessible to many more things.
Sweet. And you mentioned this, I was going to ask you about it, shining a light on something that's a huge problem, and unfortunately it's a real big problem in the Black community nobody talks about, is you know, a lot of children going missing, and you know, if they're even found, but it's a lot of sex trafficking. And there was another movie, I believe your husband did, on the subject, Skin Trade.
Skin Trade,
yeah. And it's I think it is a subject that needs to be talked about a lot more. And that's
it is, because it's, I mean, we have 3 daughters. I talk to them all the time about it. I'm like, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You can't be on your phone all the time. You know, it takes 3 seconds for someone to drive up, grab you, snatch you in a car, and I will never see you again. You have to be aware. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how tough you are, what skills you got. If you're not paying attention, and like me, I am, and it might be that part of me that used to want to be an FBI agent. I see everything. I observe everything. Nothing gets past me. Nothing. I can like look straight like this, and I can see everything that's going on in my peripheral vision, because I'm just constantly aware of what's going on around. So I'm trying to instill that in our kids, because sex trafficking it's a scary thing.
And nobody
that fast, and then you're gone forever. They will sell you quickly to some other country and you'll never see you again, you know? So it's
true enough.
Scary. And what I like about this movie is the fact that it deals with the sex trafficking ring that Mickey Rourke leads, but she got away. You know, she got away, and she went on to establish her life and become a lawyer and have a family. And yeah, he finds out and comes back and gets her. Well, doesn't get her, gets her daughter.
Right.
But it also lends to survivors of it that you can get your life back. You know, you can, you know, because it's such a traumatic thing.
Yes, indeed it is. And as you mentioned, being observant, my father, who's martial artist, he calls the traffic light system. He says you never want to be in the green. You always want to be, you know, red, being Jason Bourne type of awareness. And he said you at least want to be a yellow.
And no, it's true. You know, the kids make fun of me because I'm always looking for threats. I'm always ready. I literally going through scenarios in my head of, like, if I see some crazy person twitching, acting crazy and yelling and hitting the air and all that, immediately I'm like, okay, if that person comes near me, this is what I'm going to do. I already have the whole scenario in my head, and I see it in my head of what I'm going to do if this person comes near me and my kids. Half the time, they just keep on going, you know, but you never know. You just don't know what's going on with someone's mental health or what's going on in their head. You know, they might see me as the mother that burned them with cigarettes when they were a kid. You know, they might see me as a monster. You don't know what's going on in somebody's head. So I'm just like the type, I'm always aware and always on edge with situations. Like, I'm just ready. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give like an elbow, then I'm gonna do knee shot. You know, I'm literally in my head doing that. It's so funny. I kind of chuckle to myself.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to be. Just, you can't be, like you said, the kids and the phones, and
they're so locked on the phone. It's like, you're so like this, you don't know what's going on around you, you know?
And even before even before the COVID, you know, be aware of proximity, you know, and people in lines and too close to you.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about Take Back. Is
sure.
Was that a post-COVID movie as far as filming?
During COVID, we shot that. Yes, we shot that, and we actually were one of the first productions in California to do a film under COVID restrictions. It was kind of hard. We had to cut a lot of characters out of the script. To reduce it to a certain amount of people on set every day. We had to cut crew. We had to get the COVID test every few days. Of course, you can't have the buffet meals. You can't have craft service. You can't have everybody's hands and stuff. Everything is like hand delivered to you. It's just, it was different, but we did it. And that's why we're so proud of it, because it's a really great film from beginning to end. No one would ever know that we had to do that under the COVID kind of umbrella that was going on.
Yes, and I definitely can't wait to see it. If somebody
the film company's really excited about it. Everyone's excited about it. So yeah, we're really the director and producer of it. We're just like, man, it's like one of the best films we've done. So they're really excited. And I feel good because I have to be honest, it's my first lead role in film. I've been in lots of stuff, but I've never carried the movie, being number one on the call sheet. So I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous. I wanted to do a good job. I wanted to make sure that my acting was on point. My action scenes, because I got some badass action scenes in it, were on point. I worked hard. So it was very important to me, to make sure I did a good job. So, when the film was over and everybody was looking at it, the film production company, the distribution company, the directors, the producers, they were like, your performance was amazing. And so that just made me feel really good because, like I said, I just wanted to do a good job. I wanted to do
excellently good. Well, if the company and the producers or you are feeling generous to give us an advance copy, I'm just putting that out there. But
yeah, it's not up to me, but yeah, once they get it going, right now it's still in post. They're still doing the coloring and all that, the sound and stuff. But
let me ask you a quick question. Do you know who did the fight choreography for the movie?
Well, my husband and Larnell Stovall, who is of 8711. Larnell does freaking everything. So yeah, they both. We were actually working on those fight scenes at our house in the backyard. For, period of time prior to even shooting. So we really got that stuff down.
Sweet. When is the official projected release date for this? Take Back?
Right now, there's no set date, but it's I think March of 2021. They're saying March or April right now, so it's going to be one of those.
Cool. Definitely can't wait.
We did the the official poster, not the one you've been seeing. That was just a mock one. That the official poster. We did the photo shoot for that the other day. So yeah, they're moving along. They're trying to get everything going.
Sweet.
But the honesty, and I know you didn't ask this, but I'm about to say it.
No, of course.
The thing I'm most proud of is that I did my own action in the movie. The only thing I didn't do, which of course is just common, is some of the stunt stuff where I'm like getting my head smashed into the wall.
Right.
I had a great stunt double for that. Anisha. Are you familiar with Anisha?
Anisha, I am not. I'm sure I've seen her.
Anisha Gibbs, she's great. She did all my dirty stuff for me, like the crazy stuff that if the actress gets hurt, the film is over. So we can't, she came in and did the dirty stuff for me. She's great. She's been Halle Berry's stunt double on John Wick. She did Journey Smollett's stunt double on Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. She's great. Great work. Yeah, very protective of me, which I loved. She wanted to make sure I never got hurt on the crazy stuff. I felt good doing my own fighting in it. Yeah.
I mean, as you should. Yeah. Have you been officially ranked in a martial arts system?
No, I actually have not. It's funny. I just had an interview the other day about that. My training has all come from my husband. I've had 7 years of training technically. And even though I'm not in the system of being ranked, my husband swears up and down. He's like, dude, you know more stuff than people who are straight up black belts.
You can see that.
He tells me all the time. He's like, if you had gone through that system, he said, you'd be totally like a black belt, hands down, because what he loves also telling people is how he trains me. He tricks me. I don't, I'm new to martial arts, within the last 7 years. He tricks me by teaching me the very advanced, very hard stuff, and me not knowing any better. I don't know. So I don't go, oh my God, that's hard. Only black belts not. He doesn't tell me that. So he teaches me that stuff and goes, here, try this, do this. And then, like even the kick I did to Gary Owen's head, he was like, you know how many black belt people can't do that kick?
True, yeah.
Yeah, so he teaches me stuff, and me, I'll just go, oh, you mean like this? he'll go, yeah, just like that. And I'll go, oh, okay, cool. Great. And then later on, he's like, you know how hard that was? You know how many people can't. So he teaches me out. So I'm kind of like this dumb person that he's going, here, try this. And then I do it and he won't tell me, yeah, that's super advanced. Because he knows mentally I'll start going, oh my God, I can't do it because it's advanced,
Right.
So that's why he's trained me on that level. He just tricked me.
Yeah, you can you can tell you definitely have fighting spirit, because you can see a lot of people in these movies are very stiff and the camera has to cut around them.
Right.
And whatnot. No, you definitely have it.
And I think the good thing is that, he has like 8 or 9 black belts in all different systems.
Oh yeah.
Styles. So he teaches me jujitsu. He teaches me Kyokushin. He teaches me American karate. He teaches me Shotokan. Like he teaches me a little bit of everything and compiles it all together. So yeah, it's cool.
And well, not speaking of which, but I wanted to ask you about, or thank you, first of all, for saving myself and my wife thousands in couples therapy. And I'm referring to Love Strong.
Yeah.
And I know you all said it was a limited series, but you got to bring that back because it's so awesome.
We want to. Sometimes it just gets so overwhelming. Like when we will have an idea, we really want to do Love Strong because we think it's really important. A lot of people say that we inspire them as a couple.
Oh yeah.
So being that inspiration, we want to give as much as we can to help other couples. But sometimes with my husband's film schedule and my film schedule, because I also do the Tyler Perry show, The Oval. So I have to go to Atlanta for weeks at a time to film that. Like right now, my husband's gone shooting a movie in Rhode Island. A few weeks ago, he was shooting a movie in New Mexico with another movie with Mickey Rourke called Commando. So he's, it's so hard sometimes. Like
he's directing one of those, right?
Huh?
And he's directing one of those projects, right?
No. He didn't direct either one. No, the one with Commando, I think the director's name is Asif. That's Mickey Rourke's in it. My husband, Cowboy Cerrone's in it. UFC fighter. It's a yes, it's an action film about a home invasion and stuff. But yeah, it's our schedules.
Right.
We even started writing a book.
Really?
That we're like halfway through, but it's so hard because every time we're like trying to just settle down and get into it.
Right.
Like, oh, you booked a job here, and oh, you got to do this show. So it's like, and then of course we're parents, so we got to still have our home and our kids, and so it's a lot sometimes. It gets to be overwhelming, but we definitely want to bring Love Strong back. We definitely.
Yeah. Well, sounds at least at least y'all are keeping busy. I mean, times like this, you go nuts if there's no work.
We are very blessed. The fact that since this whole COVID, pandemic has gone down, I think my husband's done four movies. I've done 2 movies and the Tyler Perry show. We shot the 2nd season. So we've been working. We've been working.
Sweet. And let me ask you about that. I brought up the Love Strong to ask you specifically. I don't mean to put you on the spot in most of the videos, but what's the secret to a successful relationship, be it marriage or long term?
I say the same thing all the time. You got to be best friends. You got to be best friends. Because here's the thing. People put too much on the whole relationship thing or the whole marriage thing. And I think mentally it causes stress that they have to fill these roles of a husband. They have to fill this role of a wife,
Yes.
It's about being best friends, because when you're best friends, the other stuff is secondary. The reason Mike and I get along so well, because we're just best friends. No matter where we go, we have fun. It's not about, oh, it's my husband and my wife, I got to do this, I got to do that. We're just, so think when you're out with your best friend, you have a good time.
Yeah.
When you're with your boy, your best friend from childhood, or your best friend from whatever, your girlfriend from your longtime friend, you have a good time. It's no restrictions. It's no roles. It's no, oh, I got to be this way. I got to make sure I do this. It starts putting stress on a relationship when you feel like you got to be a certain way, or there's expectations of you to be a certain way. When you're best friends, there's no expectations. You just have fun. You have a good time.
Everything's natural.
Everything's natural. It's no expectation. And so that's why I think our relationship is so good, because we just, yeah, we're parents. Yeah, we're married, but that is secondary to us being best friends, always having a good time, always communicating, our feelings and talking, and just having this open kind of thing where we talk and we feel comfortable with each other, we can laugh. And my husband tells people all the time in interviews, he goes, there's no one I'd rather be with than my wife. You know, I don't want to have guy vacation. I don't want to be out with the boys. He said, because I have more fun with my wife because she's my best friend.
Ooh, that's a powerful thing to say. And
and it's the same with me. You know what I mean? It's just no one gets me like he does and vice versa. So when we're out, you know, we could look at each other and know what each other are thinking, or, you know, we laugh and, you know, so we have the same sense of humor. So it's just, I really think in terms of really having a strong relationship, it's two things. You got to communicate. I should say three things. You got to communicate. Got to let go of ego. Too many egos in relationships. You know, everybody wants to be here. It's like, y'all got to be here. Y'all got to come like this, not somebody being here or somebody you know, it's too much of the fighting of positions, you know. Let go of the ego, communicate, and be best friends. Those are my three things I think to a successful relationship.
Sweet. And like I said, the both of y'all have a lot of awesome knowledge. And I think it was, forget if it was you or your husband saying, don't be afraid to be wrong because you can learn.
My husband said that, but that's when we talk about the whole ego thing.
Yeah, that's the ego.
It's okay to be like, people don't ever want to be wrong. You know, it's nothing wrong but going by saying, oh man, you know what, you're right. Damn, my bad. It's so much easier than trying to be defensive and you know, because deep down inside, you know you're wrong, but you don't want to admit it.
Yes.
and it just causes more issues. There's nothing wrong with going, oh man, dang, you know what? I didn't know that. You know what? You're right. And now it's cool instead of tension and all kind of craziness, you know? So we both never have a problem, you know, saying, oh yeah, I'm wrong, or you're right, or oh yeah, you know, I made a mistake, you know. So never have issues with that. A lot of people don't ever want to admit to mistakes, you know. It's okay to do that. It's totally okay to do that. We're human. We all make mistakes, you know what I mean? It's like, you know.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I wanted to ask you, who's when you were coming up, your inspiration to be the best actress you could be?
It's so funny. I get asked this question all the time. I actually did not have one. It's weird, but I've never had, there was never anybody I really like looked up to in terms of inspiration. Like there's always been actresses or, you know, athletes that I'm like, oh, I love their tenacity. I love their drive. I love what they do on screen. But no one that I actually kind of idolized, I can't ever say there's no one that I idolized. I never was like a super, you know, so yeah, it's weird. I've never had that in my head, like that whole fan idol thing. There's just people that I respect.
There you go. Yeah.
Like I respect what they do. I respect their work. I respect their drive. Like I said, I respect their, you know, whatever they've done in their life. But yeah, so that's kind of a hard question for me to answer because there's
that's
you looked up to.
That's actually a great answer in itself. Let me ask, are you familiar with Prince, the late great singer, musician?
Of course, yeah. I actually have. Yeah, I knew him when he was alive. I went to his house. Yeah.
Oh no, I ask you this to say this. I always liked something he said while he was still alive. He said he doesn't have fans because he said fans is short for fanatic. He says he has friends. Mm-hmm. And I think that was that's awesome because you know that
it is awesome. It is awesome. Yeah, I don't look like when people. My husband and I are both the same way. We're very humble people. We don't see ourselves as maybe someone else sees us. You know, we're people who have jobs in the entertainment business, who are home a lot. We're both homebodies. We love working out. We have kids. So it's weird when people are like, oh, I'm a fan of yours. It weirds us out. It makes us feel uncomfortable and weird.
You're right. I get you.
Like the other day I did a seminar for Urban Action Film, the Urban Action Film.
Oh yeah.
They interviewed me on Sunday and they were calling me Master Gillian White. And I didn't, it just felt weird. Of course I didn't say that. but they're like, Master Gillian White. And I'm like, oh, that just feels weird. Like, I don't see myself that way, you know?
I
But
got
they
you.
do, you know? So I have to respect how they see me, but it's just kind of weird, you know?
It's sweet. Oh yeah. I believe I sat in a seminar with your husband and saw you sneaking past in the background, which is funny.
Oh, that was yeah. Oh, when I was going back and forth in the backyard.
Yeah.
I was putting up, like I said, I'm just a little home. I was putting up fall decorations. So we have a back house. I was going to the back house where we keep our fall decorations, and I was bringing them back to the front to put them in the yard.
Yeah, that was cute. And it seemed like you didn't want to get into the shot.
I did. He kept going like this. He kept going, come on. I was like, no. I was like, that's, you know, I don't, you know, that's his thing. I'm like, you might see me walking in the back, but and I was like, I don't be in it.
I don't want to keep you too long, but I want to ask you one thing. My theory.
I have a free day. I'm not doing anything else. So
I appreciate you.
Don't feel rushed.
No, my theory is either you or your husband both have found the fountain of youth.
I'm gonna be 46 in January. Nobody thinks that, you know, when I'm like, yeah, I have an almost 20-year-old daughter. People are like, what, you know? I've always been an advocate for taking care of yourself. You have one body in this lifetime. You're not gonna get another one. It's not the Twilight Zone. You can go get a little extra body somewhere. You know, you have one body. So why not take care of it the best you can? And it's up to you. It's your choice. So if you want to complain about, oh, I got diabetes or I got this, I got that, it's your fault because, excuse me, unless you are predisposed to it genetically. But other things that are not, it's because you've chose to eat a bunch of junk. You know, if you got liver problems, it's because you drink too much. You know, you are choosing to put these things in your body. You know, so why not choose to put healthy things in your body? You know, I get up every morning, I take a handful of vitamins. Like people go, oh my God, so many. I'm like, I take a ton of vitamins. And there are certain vitamins that keep your lungs, you know, so I'm just really on the vitamin, the herbs. I'm really on that tip. I eat very clean. I don't, Michael and I, neither one of us, we don't drink alcohol at all. We don't smoke, you know, we don't drink soda. We don't eat fried foods. We don't, you know, it's certain things that we are like, hey, we want to be around for our kids.
Of course.
You know, it's important that we take care of ourselves. It's one thing that we want to look good because we're in the business and we have for our job, but it's another thing that we just want to live healthy lives and be there for each other and for our children, you know? So it's important. And yeah, wearing a mask is the best thing, but you got to take care of your inside.
Going back to, just for a second, the martial arts, of course, as a all around, well-rounded martial artist, you got to have a good arsenal of techniques and whatnot. But usually a martial artist, I know I do, have a few favorite moves they want to use every time, or not every time, if you get into a confrontation. What's your go-to strike, be it a kick or a punch or whatever?
I love my flying sidekick, the one I did on Mike in Welcome to Sudden Death. I love doing that because it might be from basketball, but I get up really high. That my kick lands, boom, right here, solid in your chest, you know. And it's a lot of power. Mike always tells people that I hit and kick like a dude. He's like, you don't hit like and I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? But you know, I hear what he's saying, but he's like, you have crazy power in your kicks and hits. He's like, he tells me, well, he's like, you don't want to get kicked or hit by her. He's like, she's really powerful. So, you know, I think my flying sidekick, it looks really cool, especially on camera.
Oh yeah, and it did, and it does, and on a poster.
yeah, definitely. But that's my favorite. It just looks cool on camera.
Excellent. So last one, I wanted to ask you, can't wait till the Take Back comes out, but when it's all said and done, I know most people don't like to look this far ahead, but of course, as an entertainer, you have an idea of how you want to be seen. What do you want your legacy to be?
Oh boy. It kind of goes both ways because personally, I want my legacy to be that I was just that woman right there. That's a good person. She's a good human being. You know, that's incredibly important to me that people always see me like that. There's no dirt on me. There's no, you know, you're not going to hear about me looking down on somebody or talking ill of someone, that I'm just a good, decent human being. That's the most important thing. The second thing is, in terms of my career, that, that I am a good actress. I'm a very good actress that has the skills of an action. I can go action. I guess what I'm trying to say, that I'm well-rounded. I can do action. I can do drama. I can do comedy. I can do it all. It's just being given those opportunities. Sadly, here I am, 45 years old, getting my first lead role in an action film. I've been acting for over 20 years, but I'm not always given those opportunities because, as well, I'm sure they tend to stick with the same actors.
Yeah.
They tend to stick with the same actors. So when you're not the well-known or popular actor at the time, you're not given those opportunities. So you got to fight hard for them, So I feel like with Take Back, this is for the first time going to show people, oh, okay, she can act and she can kick ass. It's like levels. I do a little humor in it. There's definitely drama.
Oh yeah.
And there's definitely action. And I'm doing all three. And according to the producers I haven't seen the whole movie yet. The producers and directors in the film company, they just keep telling me how awesome that my performance was. So I feel like this is going to be that opportunity to show people she can do it all. She can. And maybe I'll get included one day in that little group of actors that they tend to use over and over and over. And if not, I'll just keep fighting. It doesn't matter. I'm a fighter and I always work hard. So either way, I'm gonna make my path for myself in this game. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, somebody has to. Well, I think Jordan, the guy who runs the website, he has an excellent article on the importance of a black belt or the non-importance of it, and it could be symbolic. You don't need a physical belt, and I think obviously you got the skills to be probably a multiple degree black belt.
Thank you. I think when it comes to that, I think it's awesome for the discipline of it to have, and for just that feeling of accomplishment, that you've worked hard through a system and this is your final thing. And then of course you might go on to another system and get another black belt and something else. I think it's accomplishment. And I think it's just that feeling of doing something that's such a strong discipline. But in terms of myself, maybe one day I will go through the rink, and I gotta find time being a mom, wife, a career, but nothing's impossible. But I think right now for what I'm doing, I think the skills I have work for me. I'm not out there saying I'm, master this or sensei this or I'm not doing all that. I'm not trying to act like I'm something that I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just me doing what I got to do to entertain people and hoping I do a really good job at it,
Excellent. And well said. And I want to congratulate you. I know you probably don't look at the numbers and this and that, but when Welcome to Sudden Death came out, it was top 5 on Netflix.
Yeah, it was for a couple weeks
in the world.
Yep.
And also, this is really good because it's on Netflix. Everybody has Netflix, but it's doing decent on video, like the sales and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people really liked it, which is wonderful, Yeah,
and you definitely, if you weren't popular before, because my wife recognized you from the Oval.
Yeah.
And
I got two audience. I got the action audience. I got the Tyler Perry audience.
Right. That's another thing. You and your husband have in common.
Oh, that's true, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Because my mom saw.
I actually have people going, "Oh, she only got the Oval because her husband was." Well, what? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no, that had nothing. My husband didn't have anything to do with that. I had to audition for that show. I auditioned out here in LA for it. Then I got a call back, I auditioned again. Then Tyler flew me to Atlanta where I had to audition again for him. And then when that day he let everybody know who got a part. Everybody knew exactly what part they were going to be on the Oval, except me. Tyler pulled me off to the side. He goes, "Look, I'm going to cast you. I want you on my show." He said, "I don't technically have a role for you yet, but
Oh, wow.
he goes, I'm gonna write you one. I'm gonna make it very strong, very powerful role. And I'm gonna write it for you. So you are on the show, and now your agents will know in a couple weeks what role it is.
No, that's awesome.
You know, so, you know, it's like I said, going back to that misconception, it drives me crazy, but there's nothing I can do. People are going to think what they want to think, that I get stuff because of my husband. No, I've been acting for freaking I've been acting well, a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Trust me, you can see it. I'm like all the way back in How to Be a Player. You're obviously a good actress. People really thought you were.
Yeah, thank you. It's like I did Martin and How to Be a Player. I was on Xena Warrior Princess. I filmed that in New Zealand for.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but people, you know, like I said, people in this, and people gonna think what they want to think. There's a lot of naysayers.
No, don't feel
negative Nancy's, but whatever. You know, like I said, I'ma just do me. Keep showing what I can do, and that's what it is. And people gonna say what they want to say regardless. So it is what it is.
No, don't worry about it. It's nothing.
I've worked hard to where I am now, so I'll just put it that.
Of course. And let me say one, well, people don't realize nepotism works both ways. It can be, for example, we interviewed Royce Atkins. He's the son of Sinbad. Mm-hmm. And he said he only got in the room because most people wanted to give something to his father.
Right.
And he said that hurt, that was hurting his career, and he had a lot of good projects. So it works both ways. People don't realize that.
It does. It really can. Like I said, it can be frustrating sometimes because, you know, people see me and my husband like a unit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I have no problem with that. But there's a time when I have to be seen outside of in my own lane. You know, and like I said, I was acting well before I even met my husband. You know, but sometimes it can get shadowed because of his celebrity. My where I am can be shadowed, which is, you know, it makes sense. I mean, it's going to happen. But yeah, as long as people, that's why I'm just like, so keep working, showing what I could do. The film I just finished a couple weeks ago is a drama called Love You Anyway from Wayfair Studios. It's a complete drama. I play one of the lead roles. I'm the mother of the lead actress, Rain Edwards, who's on Snowfall.
Oh yeah.
So Rain, I play her mother. She's a girl dealing with mental health issues, depression, suicide. And my journey from her birth all the way to her 20s of me being a supportive, loving mom, having to deal with all this, but always staying by her side. No action, no comedy, straight.
Wow.
Drama. So, you know, and I booked that over a self-tape, you know, over a couple months ago. And I booked it and we shot it already. So, you know, I'll let my work speak for itself. That's all I can do, you know.
And it speaks loudly in my humble opinion.
Thank you.
You're tackling some really heavy topics in these movies.
I love it. I'm like, wow, the last 2 movies I did, sex trafficking and mental health, 2 very relevant issues now.
Yeah, very important. So
very important. So I'm glad to be a part of that. Just, you know, getting that out there and shedding some light on it.
Well, good luck to you and be safe and stay healthy.
Okay, I appreciate it. You too. Tell your wife thanks for supporting me on the Oval.
Oh, no problem. Sweet. I shall. And have a good rest of the day and take it easy.
All right. Nice talking.
Bye-bye. You as well.
Bye.